How's it going, everyone? My name is Spencer, aka Agent Mulder, and welcome to the War Room. Today, we are on our way to Resident Evil Resistance multiplayer. In this video, I'll talk about all the survivors you can play as along with their abilities, which survival team I've been running with lately that's gotten me some success, and finally what type of zombies you'll run into, along with what weapons you can use against them. As always, if you've enjoyed this video and the series, feel free to subscribe, and don't forget to click on the little bell icon below to be notified of new content every week. Without further ado, let's get started.
Kiss you!
In Resident Evil Resistance, you'll get the choice of playing as 6 different characters. Each character has their own unique abilities. Valerie, who is the medic in the team, has an ability called Survival Instinct, in which she sends out a pulse which will highlight any objects that she or allies can pick up, and then finally Modified First Aid Spray, which is her special ability to where she sets down a device on the ground which not only heals her, but also any allies standing in its radius. January, who is a hacker in the group, which her ability called Overload, which allows her then to hack any electronic devices such as cameras to take away from the Mastermind for a little while, and her special ability called EMP, which once activated, she sends out an EMP blast which disables any electronics that have been set on the ground or hanging on the walls. Tyrone, who's a tank character in the group, has an ability called Power Kick, which once used on any zombie will knock them down on the ground, giving you an opportunity to finish them off or run away. His special ability called Rally, which decreases the amount of damage taken both by your character and any allies nearby. Samuel, whose ability is called Dash Punch. When Dash Punch is activated, Samuel can switch to his bare fist to where he can punch zombies in rapid succession or until you switch back to your weapons. But then finally he has Fist of Iron. Samuel switches to his bare knuckles again, to where he does a little extra damage and punches a little bit faster. This is great for clearing out zombies in the tight corridor spaces, trying to get to either your allies or clear the way. And Martin, who's the tech mechanic in the group, his ability to make makeshift mines, which are these short little mines you can sit on the ground, which will automatically shock and electrocute any zombie that steps on it, giving you a chance to either run away or finish them off as they're being electrocuted. And finally, his special ability is called Flash Baton, where he's able then to flash enemies in the room that blinds them for a few seconds, giving your allies a chance to either attack them or run away. Then finally, there's Becca. Becca has a sentry stance, where her ability allows her to take to one knee, to where she can increase her accuracy when using a handgun or any type of weapon you choose. Her special ability called Bullet Storm allows her to have infinite ammunition for a short period of time on any gun you have equipped to her. Now, each one of these survivors brings something unique to the table, but so far the 4 survivors that I've been running with lately as a team that have given me success have been Valerie, January, Samuel, and Martin. Valerie is fantastic when you're caught into a pinch to where you can then heal your allies, and she's also very quickly in finding the keys that you need to move on to the next levels, thanks to her Survival Instinct ability. January is perfect for blocking off cameras, especially against players who like to use the machine guns on the cameras, along with overloading landmines or any type of electronic devices when you're trying to get to the exit. Samuel, who's the heavy hitter in the group that can help clear away enemies very quickly. And then finally Martin, his makeshift mine is perfect for setting up traps against zombies, but more importantly, any Mastermind player you're going to play against will be setting out tons of landmines. This is where Martin comes in to disable those landmines, because keep in mind, each landmine that Martin disables adds extra time to your timer. Running these 4 in a team will grant you success at least for the first couple times you play this game. When you break out to go look for, say, keys or items that you need to survive, go in groups of 2. It can be very easy for the Mastermind to break you all apart and take you out one by one. But if you run in teams of 2, and keep the Mastermind off of his or her game, bunching up together should only happen when you're trying to make your way to the exit. More often than not, a good Mastermind player will be dropping tons of landmines and some difficult zombies for you to fight when you try to make your way to the exit. Speaking of landmines, one thing to bear in mind, at the start of every single round, be careful when you're exiting the main doors. I've noticed through my playthroughs that Mastermind players will tend to put down at least 2 to 3 landmines on the very moment you exit the doors. I found that having Martin lead the way so he can disable the landmines, while keeping him covered, say with either Tyrone or Samuel, you'll be able to take these landmines out quickly without anyone getting hurt, and add extra time to your timer. Now, the type of zombies you'll run into in the multiplayer are very similar to the ones that you fought in both Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. You'll have your basic zombies, you'll have the classic zombie dogs running around as well, plant-light zombies, explosive zombies that if not taken care of can do extra damage to you and your teammates if they explode next to you, and then finally you have boss zombies. You'll run into anything from Mr. X, William Birkin, and finally a giant plant-like creature. Now, you can do damage to these creatures to slow them down. They each have their own particular amount of health, but you're better off just keeping your distance from them until their timer runs out and they disappear. Now, one thing to bear in mind is you can kill plant monsters in this game. At any given time when you run into certain plant-like zombies, any type of fire that you have, say a torch, flamethrower, or Molotov cocktails will do damage to these creatures, eventually taking them down. Always remember in multiplayer, if you can see numbers coming off the creatures when you're doing damage to them using anything, they have their own health meters. If you don't see see any numbers coming off creatures when you're doing damage to them, it means whatever weapon that you're using doesn't work against them. Also keep in mind that objects that you need to get during certain key missions in certain areas never change their spots. So say for example, when you find that a key or an object that you need to move on to the next level was found in a certain room, chances are that same object will be in that room again when you play the level over. So make sure you go out of your way to memorize where certain key objects are every time you play all these levels. And finally, one of my friends discovered that once you reach rank 50, you'll unlock a special gold suit as a cosmetic for any one of your characters. Just a unique little bonus for you guys and gals out there. And that's it for our quick look at Resident Evil Resistance. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. We'll be doing a video very soon on how to play as Mastermind, along with dropping new videos on new content every single week. So be sure to stick around, and I'll see you all next time.